What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla stock, what's going on with SPY in the overall market, why Tesla is exploding during the pre-markets. We're almost at 190 a share. What news just came out from Elon Musk that's causing this, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I begin doubles information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit $500 and you guarantee 20 free stocks. There's only about 6 days left for the offer. So, anyways, for Tesla, we have a very, very nice inverse head and shoulders like structure that has been developing on the chart for many months, if anything. And right now, we're actually seeing a nice sign that Tesla's going to try to maintain this structure, and we're going to see this play out as Tesla has potential to pump all the way up to the 200s very, very soon. So I think that the move is just getting started, and Tesla has so much more upside potential. And overall, it's actually making a nice move so far. Why is Tesla pumping like this? Well, we had some big news that just came out last night, basically. Excuse me. This was actually late at night yesterday. Elon Musk came out and he posted on his Twitter page or X account that both Tesla shareholder resolutions are currently passing by wide margins. Thank you for your support. So it looks like we're going to see once again a nice win, at least for the Tesla shareholders, a nice win for Elon Musk. And as a result of this, the share price is going absolutely parabolic. This is exactly what these shareholders were looking for. And this is what I thought would end up happening as well, that most shareholders would vote yes. I voted yes, to be honest with everyone, when it comes to Elon Musk's pay package. And for other proposals, things are also going at least as planned. So this is great news for Tesla, getting investors very hyped, very excited. And there's a lot more other pieces of news coming out that are important. Also, yesterday it was announced that ARK's Kathy Wood is now expecting Tesla to reach 2,600 per share by 2029. Tesla was already running as a result of this news and excitement involving the shareholder event. So far, this is what we predicted, and things are still looking pretty good. Now, there's also some more talk that's coming out. As the market's going up, it's continuing to hold up some key levels, even as we just got the PPI report. The Fed also is now just expecting one rate cut by the end of the year instead of just three. That's a big change so far, and that's what Jerome Powell ended up saying yesterday. So that's something else that's worth noting. Broadcom beats earnings during its second fiscal quarter, and he's increased its sales forecast. It's also announced a 10-for-1 stock split, so that's why shares are up quite a bit, 13% thus far. Pretty good news, at least for them, in my personal opinion. So that's something else that's very important. There's still a lot of attention for memes, so we'll have to see how things end up going. For Tesla, there's another headline right here that Tesla's expecting to raise its Model 3 prices in Europe after higher EU tariffs on Chinese EVs are coming out. So that's something else that's worth noting. Don't forget that Tesla actually has a lot better margins, a lot more capabilities, at least producing in China. So with these new higher tariffs that are about to be announced, they're going to be likely increasing the prices as a result of this. So this is making some headlines right now, but this news is not really affecting Tesla much because the Elon Musk announcements about the votes is actually trumping this. So the last thing I just want to say is we just got the PPI report as well. Looking at the numbers, PPI month over month was negative 0.2%, below expectations. Initial jobless claims was at 242,000. This is actually above expectations, showing more contraction in the labor markets. Core PPI year over year was at 2.3%. This is as expected. And then for the other metrics of PPI, that's going to be like for all items PPI and such. Things are once again not looking too bad. Year over year, we had 2.2% aligned with expectations. So not bad whatsoever, guys. PPI came in aligned with expectations from both the core side and also all items. So everything was aligned with expectations, also good for the markets. So what do I see for Tesla now? What do I think is going to happen to the share price? As of right now, all the data has been good. Good news from Tesla, good news from everything. I think that ultimately, as long as Tesla could try to break past 190 soon, we're easily going up to this high right here at 198. And we're also going to try to test these highs around the 200s. I think Tesla's going to be pushing for 200. I think we're just getting started with the move. And looking at the daily chart, you guys could see we're going to likely test this 200 EMA soon around 197. So I see plenty of upside potential for Tesla as the share price looks bullish. The inverse head and shoulders is clearly playing out right now. As long as we could hold these levels, there's a very, very good chance Tesla will continue to go higher. Watch resistance around this 190 area. That's going to be critical for Tesla. If we end up projecting off 190, I would be looking for a retest of this high 187 could be retested. If we do end up retesting this, we got to hold above 187. As long as we're above 187 to 188, we have potential to continue to uptrend all the way up to at least 197 plus to 200. If we lose 187, this 187 zone, this top right here, then there is going to be a risk of us dipping back down to 184. I personally don't think it's going to drop that much. I think we might get a little dip in the beginning just to cool off a bit before it continues higher. But nonetheless, guys, I think that as of right now, the share price is still very bullish for Tesla. I think there's more upside potential. I think the move is just getting started. So look for a little retracement all the way down to about 187 to 188. Then we may continue to push higher, and I think that we're going to make our way up towards the 200s. I think there's going to be a lot of hype for the next couple of days, and the move is just getting started. I think that this inverse head and shoulders will play out for Tesla. We will eventually hit 197, then eventually the highs up here around 205 plus. So I favor upside more for Tesla. I think there's going to be a nice move coming. I think that the big catalyst is finally here, and it's finally time for something very, very nice to happen to the share price. It took a long time for this to happen, so we'll just have to give it the time it needs, but good for Tesla. For SPY, we're currently at 543, so I'm going to be watching SPY very carefully. I do see a little bit of a concern for SPY, and that's the fact that when you look at the daily time frame, SPY still has this big gap to fill on the daily, all the way down towards 537. But we have to lose key support in order for the move to come back down. So once again, if we lose 540, I will turn bearish. And I think we're coming all the way down to 537. If we hold above 540, watch 543 as resistance. If we manage to break through that, if we hold above 543, then we'll be looking for a move all the way up towards the all-time high to about 545. And we'll have to see how well it holds up, at least for now. But make sure you watch it very carefully. My gut is telling me we kind of popped a bit. I did say Tesla in the market will likely pop a bit, but then we could see a little pullback at least later on in the markets and then just see some consolidation. So we might see a lot of sideways price action between 540 and 544. That's what I think is going to likely happen for today. And if we lose 540, there might be a dip coming. So look for a little pop and some sideways price action as the most likely possibility. If we lose 540, we'll be looking for a dip back down to fill our gap. But overall, I think that the market's holding up well. We're at some tough resistance, so we'll just have to see how things end up developing. For Nvda is pumping really, really nicely, continuing to squeeze, looking pretty strong. Watch this 130 resistance, though. We'll have to see how we end up reacting to this. 129 to 130 is going to be our resistance zone. We'll have to see how Nvidia reacts once again. So give it some time. We were expecting more upside on Nvidia, my video from yesterday. But from the way I see things, once we actually break this resistance, be very, very mindful of the fact that resistance will get tougher. So we'll see if we get a little pullback and we end up kind of like revisiting these highs right here around 125 or not. But just be very careful at 130. Watch and see how we end up reacting the closer we get to 130, if we get a rejection or not. And we're going to be very patient in the process. For the QQQ, we have 478 to 480 is our key resistance zone right about here. As of right now, it's kind of like fighting this tough resistance. If we break 480, we could push higher. If we fail to break 480, we could be looking for a move back down towards the high around 475. So look and see how it reacts to 478 to 480. Then we'll see if there's a rejection or not. That's going to be critical for the way we end up moving. For Bitcoin is still kind of dipping a bit. We did rebound to about the 70,000 area only to reject, so it's still showing some weakness. I think it's going to likely continue to shuffle as it's been for the last couple of hours between 67,000 and about 68,000. So look for a little bit of sideways price action, at least on Bitcoin. For Apple's still pumping a little bit, but the issue with Apple is now we hit some tough resistance. We actually pumped so much last few days that Apple's kind of consolidating a bit. So if we break past 216, look for a pushback up to 220. If we end up losing 212.5, we'll be retracing to 210, then eventually back down to 207. The reason for that is because that's where the previous resistance was becoming support. And this kind of looks like a liquidity grab, so we might kind of pop and drop. There is a risk of it coming down to 210, though, so I just want to give you guys a warning about that. And then besides that, just for a few more, Coinbase pumped all the way up to this 260 area, but now it has some tough resistance here. If we break 260, look for 264. If we fail to hold above that, we'll be retracing to 250, so I'll be watching for that. Amazon is kind of turning a little bit, but we're at support. Watch 185.5 as support. If we lose this, we'll be dipping down to 183.5. If we hold this, we're going to likely continue to shuffle between the 186 and 188 area. But I just want to say there's a risk of us losing 185.5. If that fails, we will be dipping. Otherwise, I'd see it kind of shuffling for a bit. Same thing with Meta. 510 is resistance. 500 is going to be our support. We're kind of trading sideways right here. But I do see a risk of it dipping towards about the lower 500s. We'll see if we lose that support or not over the next few days. If we do, we could be retracing back down to 490 to fill this imbalance. So we'll just have to wait and see. Two more. The memes. AMC and GameStop are still trading sideways. I want to see GameStop break past 29, hold above that and close above that for us to try to rebound. Otherwise, we're just trading sideways for the time being. So let's hope GameStop gets a little bounce. Otherwise, we're trading sideways. If we lose 25, we'll watch 22. But I think that for now, we're just trading sideways in a tight range. So we're just waiting to see if we get a big move. Same thing with AMC, it's just shuffling around $5. If we lose 4.91, we'll turn bearish. If we break past 5.02, we could bounce. Otherwise, we're just kind of stuck for the time being. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Tesla is still on fire. It could retrace just a little bit, but then I still see more upside potential over the next few weeks for Tesla. I think we will be running back up towards the 200s. I think there's a lot more potential in this as long as we manage to hold above 184. Yes, I think Tesla will run more. We could be retesting the top that we had around 187 to 188 again, so it might dip just a little bit, but then there is still more upside potential over the next few days, especially thanks to this big shareholder vote. So I think that the inverse shoulders will play out. Tesla will continue to uptrend as time goes on. All right, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon in just a couple of hours. Thank you and peace out.